Okay, why don't we get started here, everybody? Have your seats. Welcome, press. Okay, how about it? San Francisco Fleet Week is here, it's back, and it is strong. And it is back and it is strong because of all of the people who put all their sweat and tears into planning all year round. And you cannot ignore the fact that the city staff is working day and night with San Francisco Fleet Week all around town. The police department, the sheriff's department, Department of Public Works, Department of Emergency Management, and I want to tell you, none of this happens without the people who are working at the Port of San Francisco, led by Elaine Forbes. Give them a round of applause, and you'll hear from Elaine Forbes in a little while. This year at Fleet Week, we have some incredible program. Of course, we have the Blue Angels flying on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And there's a whole big air show presented by United that comes with the Blue Angels. And we have the Humanitarian Assistance Village and the STEM Education Center and the Career Center all out on the Marina Green for all 3 days of the air show. And of course, the great festival environment. Also, on this pier, on Saturday and Sunday of Fleet Week, we will have Fleet Fest, which will be a live music, live performances all day Saturday into the evening, and then all day again on Sunday. So make sure you come down to the Pier 3032 Fleet Fest on Saturday and Sunday. But we do so many other things. We have been working since Sunday, working with the first responder community. You're going to hear about the emergency management community and how they intersect with San Francisco Fleet Week. I want to thank 3rd Fleet, Admiral Meyer. Thank you so much for bringing the ships, and for all your sailors and Marines that are here as well. Colonel, we've got incredible presence. Sheriff Miyamoto, new fire chief, hello. Sandy, thank you for being here. I'm not gonna spend too much time up here. I just want to say that at Fleet Week, it is a community event. San Franciscans work all year round at meetings, planning, one-on-one and in big groups to invite the military into San Francisco. And so, yes, it's a military event, but we are celebrating the military because really it is a community event. So thank you, San Francisco, for all the work you do for bringing San Francisco Fleet Week into the fold. We have the Canadians coming this year. Kate Walter from the consul's office representing. You'll see a Canadian ship coming in. We're on the USS Tripoli. We have the USS Somerset and the Berthold from the Coast Guard. So many things to be seeing. I'm going to turn our attention now to somebody who has been a steadfast supporter of Fleet Week since I've known her, and as mayor has been done so much to support us. I'm going to call up to the podium the mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. I'm San Francisco Mayor London Breed, and I am so happy to be here today to kick off the 43rd Annual Fleet Week in San Francisco. This has been a time-honored tradition, and I remember being so excited once I started to attend Galileo High School, where we had a chance to get a front row seat in the football stadium and see these planes from the Blue Angels fly across our field. There was nothing like it, and there still isn't. So we are so happy to welcome all of you from the Navy, the Coast Guard, and the Marines to be here to celebrate and to really bring a lot of excitement and joy to the people of San Francisco. There is nothing like Fleet Week, as I said, and we are so grateful to former Mayor and former U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein for her visionary leadership. She realized that San Francisco was a place that so many of the Navy ships came to be repaired. And she wanted to make sure that San Francisco benefited from all of those folks who were a part of our military. And that created one of the first Fleet Weeks in our history, and now, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best. But we also use it as a time to start thinking about our disaster preparedness It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when the next earthquake might happen. And also, San Francisco is a major city. Anything can happen at any given moment, whether it's along the bay, whether it's in our city, God forbid, a natural disaster or anything that is unpredictable. We have to depend on the relationship that exists between our military as a way to combat those challenges. And so this gives us an opportunity to make sure that our technology is connecting. Or if we lose that technology, what are we going to do to bring in some of our disaster service workers and other folks to help us combat those issues and, more importantly, protect our city and save lives? This is an important opportunity that we have today to do just that. And so I appreciate all of you who came out here in the beautiful sun of San Francisco to go through these various drills and training so that when anything happens, we are prepared in San Francisco, and we know we can count on each and every one of you to deliver to keep San Franciscans safe. So thank you all so much. I want to also express my gratitude to Louis for all the amazing work he does, because not only is there the Blue Angels, the parade of ships, the tours of the ship we're on today, and so many great things to open the doors and help people in the community learn more about what is available with the people who serve and protect our country. But he also uses it as an opportunity to work with so many of our high schools. So all over San Francisco, in the neighborhoods, taking Fleet Week out to the neighborhoods with various bands and creating really music and joy and excitement. That is one of the other things that Fleet Week does. And more importantly, I want to thank all of my department heads that are joining us here today, including some that you will hear from, because they are the ones who help us combat so many issues. A pandemic, earthquake, you name it, San Francisco stands ready because we have incredible leaders, and I want to appreciate their hard work in making sure San Francisco is safe and secure. I also want to thank Admiral Rosen, Admiral Meyer, and Admiral Buzilla and General Taylor for all of your work and for helping to make sure that San Francisco has, again, one of the best and safest Fleet Weeks that exist. There's so much going on. We got the Italian Heritage Parade on Sunday, so many things that all of you can participate in. And last but not least, I know that everybody here can agree, at one point or another, someone's going to be hungry. So make sure that you go out and you support our delicious restaurants and really support our economy here in San Francisco. Take in all that we have to offer, but more importantly, enjoy your time at San Francisco. We welcome you, and we're so happy to have you here. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thank you, Mayor Breed. Thank you so much for all of your support over the many years. And you mentioned the Coast Guard. You know, the thing about the Coast Guard is it's Fleet Week. We're celebrating the sea services, but the Coast Guard has to work. They are out there saving lives and keeping the waters protected. And so let's have a real round of applause for the Coast Guard. One of the interesting things about the Coast Guard is that they work hand in hand with law enforcement in San Francisco and with the Emergency Management Department, Department of Emergency Management. And speaking of the Department of Emergency Management, we have Mary Ellen Carroll, who is also a huge supporter of Fleet Week. Mary Ellen, from Executive Director of the Department of Emergency Management. Come on up.
Thank you, Louis, and thank you, Mayor Breed. And welcome everyone to San Francisco. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the emergency preparedness side of this, because that's my jam. But today is the largest exercise that we've done thus far during Fleet Week. And just want to say a few words about it. So we had 100 volunteers from city and county disaster service workers, and we had brought them in on 2 different ferries and a bus. So we were full-scale practicing bringing our essential workers in after a major disaster. But not only that, we built on our exercise around communications, which we did last year, because communications, how we're going to talk to each other, not only with our DoD partners, but with our regional partners, So we're working on that, filling in gaps that we found last year. And with our Department of Public Works, we are notionalizing how we're going to identify and clear debris from the streets so that we can get from point A to point B and get to work after a disaster. I cannot tell you how excited I am about this today. I've been an emergency manager in San Francisco for almost 20 years. We have never done this. We have never fully understood how this is going to work and how we're going to move people in and out. And so this is a huge milestone for us, and I'm so proud. I really, really want to appreciate all of our DoD partners. We could not do this without you. We work on this not just today, but all year round. And so the DEM team, our city team, the port, DPW, the fire department, our public safety partners, we all work together to develop this scenario, to work on the exercise, and it really does take an enormous amount of effort to make this come to fruition. And then finally, you know, when the really big thing happens, we know we're going to need our help from our federal partners. And this work that we do to develop these relationships, understand what you need from us when you come in and what we need to give you, how we're going to talk to each other, it's really priceless. And I just want to say, yes, earthquake, but also just look to Florida and what's happening right now. We are in a crisis of climate change. We actually get hurricane-level storms in this city, which we had 2 years ago. It never happened before. Southern California getting tropical storms never happened before. So we really, like, this work every day becomes more important. And my gratitude really has no depth to everybody that has been involved in this, everyone that's worked so hard to make it happen. And I think some of our employees, if you were on a bus and you volunteered today, maybe raise your hand over there. A few of them are here. Thank you so much for taking the time this morning to volunteer your time to help us be more prepared. San Francisco is nothing if it's not resilient. We are so resilient, and we will continue to be, but we're going to continue to work on it. So thank you.
Thank you, Mary Ellen. You know, one of the other things that we do at Fleet Week is work with San Francisco Fire Department, and out on Treasure Island every year we get about 50 or 60 sailors and Marines to go out to Treasure Island and learn from San Francisco Fire Department techniques on urban search and rescue. How do you dig people out of rubble, for instance, without injuring them? So Fleet Week is just like, it's pervasive through the city. The mayor mentioned all the concerts we're doing. Oh, there's speaking of the guys who are working. So, there they go, Coast Guard helicopter. But these programs are really invaluable. Teaching skills on humanitarian assistance and disaster response is a very important part of San Francisco Fleet Week. I want to say that we are in the home of the Port of San Francisco here, and the person who runs the home of the Port of San Francisco is the next person who's going to come up. Unbelievable support from her and her team. Dominic Moreno's in the audience. Give a round of applause. Head of the Maritime Division. Boy, we're on the phone day and night with Dominic, and thank you so much. But Elaine, if you could take the stage. Executive Director of the Port of San Francisco, Elaine Forbes.
Thank you so much, Louis. Welcome to Fleet Week. Today, we are making the city more resilient. And you've heard about physical resilience, partnership resilience, and we do have the best Fleet Week in the world, Mayor. And you brought it back right after COVID pandemic, and it is because of our mayor's leadership that we have this wonderful Fleet Week, and also she's had the tenacity to get us to do infrastructure to protect the whole waterfront against sea level rise. So this place continues to be welcoming for the sea services, a place we can do our exercises, deal with disasters, today and far into the future. Our mayor keeps us prepared today, tomorrow, and way down the road. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you so much. And I'd also like to say to Mary Ellen Carroll, thank you back. The Department of Emergency Management does so much work every week, and they coordinate so closely with the port to make sure we have the expertise to fit in the way we need to with the city. And I always hear that you don't want to meet on the battlefield. You want to meet far before the battlefield, and that's exactly what these recurrent exercises help us do. I do want to thank my staff for making the waterfront clean, safe, and vibrant today and every day as our primary mission, and I see my Vice President, Gail Gilman, here. So celebrate the staff that makes this waterfront so wonderful for everyone. And I want to say to the visiting cadets and servicemen, women, come and enjoy San Francisco. You want a good meal? You want to go shopping? The waterfront has it. You want to swim? You want to run? You want to play? We have it here. This is a very unique city, and it was built on the Navy and sea services. So in addition, you can do a port-rich history tour as well. And we really should reflect on the importance of the sea services to San Francisco in the past and today. During World War I, the Union Iron Works shipyard, which is at Pier 70, just south of us, built cruisers, early S-class submarines, and battleships, including Admiral George Dewey's flagship and the cruiser Olympia. At Pier 35 and Pier 45 is where was the destination of de-embarkation of thousands of troops headed to the Pacific. Along the waterfront today, you can also explore examples of historic ships. The Liberty ship, Jeremiah O'Brien, World War II submarine, SS Pomponido, all of which were a memorial to the U.S. Navy. We welcome you, Sea Service members. We are so proud to work with you, and we're very proud to share Fleet Week. Thank you. Those are my remarks, and have a wonderful week.
Thank you, Elaine, and thank you to all of your staff who I talk to just every day, 7 days a week. Obviously, none of this happens without the Navy being here, without the Marine Corps being here, without the Coast Guard. And Navy Region Southwest is kind of like the lead planning organization for the Navy coming in, and early on, I think we start talking probably the day after Fleet Week about what the next Fleet Week is going to be. And here's the commander of Navy Region Southwest, Rear Admiral Brad Rosen. Brad?
Thank you. Very nice. Thank you, Lewis. I appreciate that. Mayor Breed, thanks to you and to all the residents of this beautiful city for inviting the Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard here to celebrate yet another San Francisco Fleet Week. I'd like to give a special shout out to Captain Gary Harrington, the commanding officer of this mighty ship, the amphibious assault ship USS Tripoli, and his outstanding crew of sailors and officers for hosting us this morning to celebrate the start of Fleet Week 2024. This is my third visit here to celebrate Fleet Week, and I want to reiterate something that I said last year. Mayor, this isn't one of the best Fleet Weeks in the nation. This is without a doubt the best Fleet Week across the entire country, and we truly appreciate everything that the city of San Francisco does to support us. For 43 years, San Francisco has welcomed our sailors, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen and made us feel like we're part of the family. We can only hope that our participation matches your amazing efforts to host us here. These are just a few of the ways we're participating this year. The Tripoli and Somerset arrived on Sunday carrying over 2,000 sailors and over 600 Marines. I'd like to give a shout out to my Marine Corps partner, for this is the largest number of Marines that we've had participating in Fleet Week in the recent past. So thank you for that. On Friday, we'll be joined by the U.S. Coast Guard Maritime Security Cutter Bertholf, and after 7 years, we will be celebrating the return of the Royal Canadian Navy to the return of Fleet Week. Throughout the week, Navy Band Southwest and the 1st Marine Division Band, who are playing for us here today, will perform 30 concerts in neighborhoods throughout the city, including the Sunset, the Zoo, Noe Valley, the Castro, Chinatown, and many others. Both bands are truly fantastic, and I hope you're able to head out and listen to them play. As we do every year, our uniformed sailors and Marines will be pitching in to help communities where they're needed most. And of course, the Navy's flight demonstration team, the Blue Angels, will be participating in the San Francisco Air Show this weekend. Before I get off the stage today, I'd like to make one final acknowledgement. and that is to Lewis and the San Francisco Fleet Week Association. This small but mighty team has done big things this year to keep the shared history and heritage of the sea services and the San Francisco Bay Area alive. In March, the team's persistence and charm offensive paid off when the USNS Harvey Milk, one of the Navy's newest ships, made its very first port visit ever, appropriately here in San Francisco, to pay homage to Harvey Milk, its namesake. The team's persistence also paid off in July when Secretary of the Navy Carlos Del Toro fully exonerated 258 black sailors who were convicted 80 years ago of mutiny and other charges following a deadly explosion at the Port Chicago Naval Magazine, just 35 miles from here. The Fleet Week team worked behind the scene for many years to help make sure that we didn't forget this injustice. San Francisco Fleet Week is not just a week in October. It's a year-round effort that reminds us of our shared history and our continued friendship. Thank you to Lewis and the entire Fleet Week Association, to our partners at the Port and the Department of Emergency Management. Thank you to Mayor Breed and all of our community leaders. And most importantly, thank you again to the City of San Francisco for being wonderful hosts and for having us here as part of San Francisco Fleet Week 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, Admiral Rosen. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here. How about the 1st Marine Division Band? How about those guys? Fabulous. Thank you very much.